At a government-sponsored peace conference in Baghdad, I found the only woman in Saddam Hussein's cabinet. Dr. Huda is the Minister for Sport and Youth.
Dr. Huda, we have seen firsthand the sufferings that economic sanctions have caused many Iraqi people. Do you believe that economic sanctions ever have a place as a legitimate policy to create change?
They never have been, especially this type of comprehensive embargo that was imposed upon Iraqi people and Iraq as a country. The nation suffered from economical embargo, technological and scientific ones. So it's type of unprecedented sanctions that were not imposed on any other country or nation in the history of humanity, which made it something more like a genocide actually. More than 500,000 Iraqi child has died, and more than 1.5 million adults died because of direct or indirect reasons, all of them related to the continuation of the sanction. So I don't think, not for Iraq, not for any other nation, such embargo or actually such reason or reasons would make any such thing legitimate.
Okay, so I'm thinking of many people perceive those sanctions that were imposed on South Africa, which ended apartheid, or one of the reasons for ending apartheid, as being a success. Do you think that you could call them a success?
No, I don't, especially the reasons that those sanctions were imposed are not valid anymore. There were UN resolutions were declared in 1991. There are mainly 5 resolutions. All of them, Iraq fulfilled its duties toward them since the beginning of 1993. So actually, even if we consider the motives and the reasons behind those resolutions are justified, Iraq fulfilled its duties and applied all of them, and therefore there is no reason to continue this embargo. No matter how the standards are looked for as a success for this embargo, we think that the human cost that resulted would not consider anything as a success. The huge sacrifices, especially among the civilians, and of course all of them are innocent people. They have nothing to do with any political conflict that the country went through.
When sanctions are lifted, what are some of the first things you would like to see changed in Iraq?
Of course, first of all, we would like to see the Iraqi people have returned once again to their status that they were occupying before the beginning of the sanctions in 1991. Iraq, you see, was not considered a third world country, a third world society anymore before the 1990, as far as educational services are concerned, as far as health care is concerned, etc. So we would like to see that all those standards and services return back, so Iraq would resume once again its humanitarian rule as a civilized nation who contributed to humanity for more than 6,000 years now, and we would like to continue our mission. I think that is important to look forward to. But then again, although we hope in this matter, but how can you compensate for the wife who lost her husband, for the mother who lost her child because of lack of health care and medicine? I don't think any development will make up for that.
The next few weeks are particularly critical for Iraq. Do you feel personally prepared for what may happen?
Yes, of course, definitely. As every Iraqi man and woman are. We seek peaceful solution for the suspended problems, but we are fully prepared to face whatever will come, and we are fully prepared to defend our country, our territory against any aggression.
Do you feel more prepared now than during the Gulf War? And I've spoken to quite a few Iraqi people who just didn't think anything was going to happen, so they weren't fully prepared, whereas now they feel, well, that if America says they are going to attack, they probably will.
Yes, that is definitely correct. People know, they know what will happen because they faced something similar during the aggression in 1991. You see, during that war, a huge number of our civilian sites were attacked. Almost all the infrastructure was destroyed and rebuilt again by Iraqis. So people now know how to deal with lack of electricity or water. But again, no matter how you prepared, you cannot stop a massive crisis from occurring. For example, if the water supply and cleaning and sterilizing water instruments were destroyed, that will make huge opportunity for the spread of infectious diseases, etc. So yes, emotionally people are much more prepared, but there is fundamental differences. In 1991, when the aggression occurred on Iraq, the country was not under embargo before, so there were a lot of equipments existing and storage materials and stuff. Now the nation will be facing aggression, and before that aggression the nation suffered from almost 12 years of comprehensive embargo, so that makes they will defend themselves, lacking a lot of essential materials. They need to defend themselves, they need to protect themselves from spread of disease or from shortage of food and supplies, etc. So that will make their duties even harder. But emotionally, spiritually, they think they are people who fulfill their duties toward international community. They are people sitting inside their country, defending their own territory. They have the right on their side, so that gives them tremendous emotional and spiritual strength and strong feeling that we are defending a very basic principle that any man or woman should be protecting its homeland, and that is a huge power. That's why they are ready to defend Iraq.
If Iraq is attacked, etc., and the government falls down, there's do you think the Iraqi people will accept an American choice of leader? Are they? Will they? I know what they're saying in the American media is what they'd like to do is just weaken the Iraqi spirit so much that they will just go, okay, whatever, we've had enough trouble, we're tired now. Do you think do you think that the Iraqi spirit will be broken by the Americans, as they're hoping?
Let me ask you the question, would the Australian accept American government? Would the Canadian or the British or the Italian accept American government? Would the Indian accept American government?
So the peace, you must have seen all the peace marches around the world in support of no aggression on Iraq, no war. It seems perhaps that the people in countries like Australia, America, Canada don't want this to happen, but the governments do. How do you think? How do you think it's possible maybe to change public opinion around enough to change the government opinion in the West?
The West claims that it has the perfect democracy. Now, I think this is the perfect time to prove whether there is democracy in the West or not. If such democracy exists, then the voice of those tens of millions of people who are rejecting the war and calling upon peaceful solution should take its place. This is one thing. The other thing is that Iraq has always sought peaceful solution for the problem, and all what Iraq is asking is to give peace a chance. That's not too much to ask. That should be given the proper time to deal with and resolve all the suspended problems, as I mentioned. And the third thing is, I hope we can convince the leaders and the people that the long-term benefit of Australian people, or even American people in that matter, relies in the mutual cooperation between Iraq and Australia, or Iraq and the US. Such cooperation based on respect and for each other, and cooperation that takes care of long-term benefit for both people on the two sides, not by invasion. Even if the huge amount of forces, even if they can achieve some success, but even that is doubtful. But let's assume that they achieve some limited success on the ground, or they occupy oil or what have you. That will only achieve limited short-term benefit. It will not at all gain long-term benefit for the Australian or the American public, because it will, first of all, the top priority, that what will happen, it will accumulate mountains and mountains of hatred toward the West, that I feel that Australian people do not deserve to be hated that much, because their government or their country supported such invasion, and certainly Australian people do not deserve it, and they don't need it. Okay, but such hatred around the world will be accumulated. You cannot avoid it. So that's why I say that such hatred might bring a lot of unnecessary things that can be avoided by peaceful solution to the problem.
You suggested before maybe a practical way for people's misunderstandings to change is for more Australians to perhaps visit Iraq
Yes.
to come here as guests. How do you think that we can maybe achieve this?
Oh, Iraq has opened its arms for any visitors, and we are willing to welcome any delegations. The top number is not limited from any sector. We can speak of students and youth because these are the programs that we deal with as far as I'm concerned, and we will welcome any delegations, any number, any programs, any exchange of ideas for activities to be done here in Iraq. Any initiative, will be welcomed to be performed here in Iraq. So, hi everybody, you are welcome to be here and visit our lovely city Baghdad and Iraq, which is Mesopotamia, that you have, I'm sure you have studied a lot about it in your school days. This is Mesopotamia, and Mesopotamia welcomes you to come and visit for a few days. This is one thing. On the other hand, we will try to keep in mind to invite Australians to attend our activities like student conferences and youth camps, athletic camps, athletic activities, innovation activities, art, culture, etc. We will do that, and it's up to you how you can deal with it.
Okay, thanks very much.
Thank you. You're welcome.